Hi, so it's been a little while since my last video, so I thought I'd just um, catch things up a little bit. There's been an interesting turn of events over the last couple of days, insofar as I got a little bit freaked out by things at the weekend and decided to go to visit family. To go to stay with my mum basically, and actually it was really therapeutic because I saw my mum and my sister, and they were like I told them I was coming out because I needed a break and things were getting too much. And I have been telling them what's been happening, but I turned up and they didn't ask me if I was okay. They didn't ask me about anything to do with all of this, and I just was like, I told you that I'm struggling and you're not asking me if I'm all right. And my sister was different, actually. She was like, she kind of obviously, I think, wanted to talk when her kids weren't around. And I think her husband, Uncle Simon as well. So I ended up kind of talking to them in the kitchen on our own, and ended up having a big conversation with her. But I just kind of said, she said that she's a bit freaked out by it all, and I said, I understand that, but I need you to love me and support me, and so that I can talk about it and stuff like this. So I said I hadn't been telling them everything that has been going on, because I know it's been freaking them out and it's making me feel very isolated. And actually, she was really nice about it, and she sent me a really lovely text after I had left. So it was actually really good. It was actually really therapeutic, because I've had I've had a similar conversation with Daddy. I appreciate that there might be people who aren't Louisa watching this, so these are for Louisa, these videos, so hence Daddy and Uncle Sarah. But I had a similar conversation with Daddy, and he was freaked out by it, so didn't really want to talk about it, didn't really want to hear about it. And I was like, I need support. I can't do this on my own. I haven't chosen to have this happen. This has happened to me. I'm having to go with the flow, otherwise it would break me. So to then have my family go, well, I'm a bit freaked out, and then not want to talk about it, it makes me feel very, very lonely, and very isolated. Yeah, and like a leper and stuff. So it was I had a similar conversation with Daddy a while back, and actually he's right on board. He still didn't like it, but he's really supportive and he's very loving and lets me talk about it. Had a similar conversation with Sarah, and then the same with Nanny as well. Nanny's angle is more like kind of convincing me that actually there's a logical explanation. And she actually said to me, you only do as much as you only delve as much as you need to. Don't completely throw yourself in it. And I was like, it doesn't really work like that. I understand why she thinks that, but it doesn't really work like that. So we had a big old conversation. Again, it's been fabulous, because since I got back, she's actually texted me asking how my training, because I had some homework and I had training the day that I got back, and she asked me about it and things. So it was actually really nice. So I actually I feel like they're there. I feel, because I've got all my spirit guides and kind of all this stuff that I've discovered, but it's nice to have my husband and my family around me. So that's really good. So so that was an interesting thing that's happened recently. We're kind of just a month in, basically, just slightly over a month in from very, very first days, kind of 3 weeks I guess into the training side of things. But yeah, so, and on the back of that, actually, I've had my cousin Jessica contact me. I was messaging her in the early hours because I was up with Thomas, and she was, I think, drinking wine with her boyfriend, and she's off this week, so she was up till like 2. I was like, oh my god, I've been asleep and awake and sorting out Thomas. Very different life. But anyway, I apologise, by the way, for what I'm wearing. I am in my dressing gown. And yeah, so had a conversation with her, and it's been rippling through the family, because obviously Auntie Jackie knows about it, because I had connected with Uncle Ken, so I'd spoken to her about it. So that had obviously gone on to the family there in Norfolk. But apparently Mum or Nanny has told Jessica sorry, Auntie Melanie, who's told Jessica, and so Jessica was emailing me about or messaging me about it. She's fascinated. She was saying she's had a couple of experiences herself, and she was actually telling me about apparently Nanny Roz, so my mum's mum, has also had experiences. So everything's coming out of the woodwork. Apparently my mum's dad, so grandpa, Rob, who you never would have met, apparently he had healing hands, and all this stuff's coming out. So it's interesting. There's obviously a family thing, a family kind of history of all this kind of thing. So it's been interesting. But Jess actually emailed me asking me about it, and I was telling her, and she kind of, but the mum's filtering the information when she's telling family, and I got that when I spoke to Auntie Jackie, because she kind of said some stuff had happened because there's ley lines where we live. Mum hadn't given her the whole information, so I kind of told her a few bits and pieces. And similarly with Jessica, she'd been told something a bit different as well. So I was like, well, it's not really, it's not that it's not true, but it's not, there's a teeny part of everything that's happening. So I kind of told her. But apparently everyone's fascinated. So it's only Mum really, and to an extent Sarah, who really aren't happy or aren't comfortable with it. So but the rest of the family want to know, apparently, because they're all quite interested. They're all quite spiritual by the sounds of things. So it's just our branch that kind of isn't, I guess. But then I guess it's a bit close to home. I think Sarah would be more so, but she's a bit nervous about it. But again, she gets that from Mum and Mum's fear. But my cousin Jessica is actually she asked if she could set up a Facebook page so that I could keep them posted and tell them what's going on, and so they can all talk about spiritual stuff. So I thought it was fascinating. So I was like, yeah, go for it. So I kind of thought, well, actually, maybe I should keep doing these video diaries. Although they are for Louisa, I kind of thought, well, actually, it's quite interesting. If I do then I can kind of talk and then just post them to the group and say, this is what's happened. So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So the family, there's a real family thing. Like I said, my mum has said that there's someone someone that, great grandparent or something that I don't know about, who apparently was psychic but was not comfortable with it, and suppressed her abilities. They think that she could she could foresee her own death because she got all her affairs in order, stocked the fridge and all this kind of thing, and then passed away, and they felt that she had some inkling as to what was going to happen. There was also, the same person actually, she also apparently talks about some new chairs that was meant to be a surprise for someone, and obviously she had no idea that it was going to happen. Talked about it like she was meant to know about it, no one had told her. So there's things, so she's obviously some kind of psychic ability. Like I said, my grandpa, so my mum's dad, apparently had healing hands, and actually cousin Jessica was talking about that. Apparently my auntie Melanie had talked about his healing hands. Nana Roz, so my mum's mum, had apparently basically felt her husband, my grandpa, when he passed. And obviously there's things with my auntie Jackie and Uncle Ken, like Uncle Ken's come back to say hi, and all this kind of thing. So it's very, very dominant in our family, but it's just because of Mum being quite close to this, and skeptical, scared. It didn't feel down with me and Sarah, but obviously things are changing, and it's causing a bit of a ripple in the family, but kind of actually in a really nice positive way. So it's lovely to be able to talk to family about it. So yeah, so it's going to be great. So I feel good about that side of things. Okay.